Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Digimompreneurs Live. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm truly excited because we have a very special guest with us, Coach Karen Nguyen. She is an immigrant mom who built a new life in Canada, once working long 16-hour days in her dental lab while raising her children. Today, she is now enjoying a very different lifestyle. Yes, one with more time, more presence, and more meaningful moments with her family. And what makes her story powerful is not just the success that she has achieved, but the journey behind the sacrifices, the maybe later moments, and the courage to choose change. So let's go and get started. By the way, we will just do a self introduction, a short introduction of ourselves. I am Mary Chris from New Mexico, USA. I'm a teacher, and my greatest why is my family. Sis Banji, go, go, go. Introduce
Hello,
yourself.
good morning, everyone. So, yes, my name is Evangeline Mendoza. I'm currently living here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, with my family, a wife, a mom of two lovely girls, and working in a part-time healthcare industries. And my biggest why is my family. Okay, back to you, sis, Mercrest.
And Sis Vanessa, please introduce yourself.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Good morning, Coach Karen. My name is Vanessa, currently living here in Washington State, USA. I am a mom of three kids, working as barista currently. Formerly, I work as a bank teller. So back to you, sis. My biggest why is my family too.
Thank you so much, Sis Vanessa. And Maring Tess, please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Marites Boykay. I'm residing here in Michigan, USA. I am originally from Cagayan Valley, Philippines, and I am um, and my greatest why is for to help my family back in the Philippines. Thank you.
And Sis Pauline, please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, my name is Paulita. I live here in Calgary, Alberta. Same with Sis Banji, and I am a mother of four grown-up children and a new grandma of 7 months old little guy, and I am a day home provider since pandemic. So it's been 6 years doing the day home, and I work from home. And 3 years ago today, I joined this online business, and my biggest why is for my retirement and for rebuilding my reconnecting with my family because I was away from them when they were young. So that's my biggest why.
Thank you so much, Sis Pauline. And now let us go right away to our questions. But of course, Coach Karen will introduce herself before she will answer the first question. Coach Karen, you can now introduce yourself and welcome, welcome, welcome to the Digimompreneurs Live.
Alrighty, thank you everybody. My name is Karen. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I've been a part of this online business for over 7 years now. And just like all the beautiful ladies sitting on this panel today, my biggest why for joining this business was my family as well. Yeah, so thank you so much for inviting me here today, and I'm super excited to be sharing my story. Hopefully, that someone listening to this can be inspired by what is possible with this online business and that how it can help change our lives and it can also help change your life as well.
Thank you so much, Coach Karen. And since we are all excited, we will already start with the first question. Sis Vanessa, kindly read to Coach Karen our first question.
Okay, question number one, Coach. Can you take us back to the days that when you were working 16-hour shift in your dental lab? So, what was your I can see the question. What was your greatest why for your family at that time?
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so like I said, I started this business over 7 years ago, and prior to that, I actually owned and operate a small dental lab out of my own home. But even before that, I was working for a corporate lab in Vancouver for over 10 years. And when I had children, the work really took me away from my family, like most people that work outside the home. So I decided to open my own lab, thinking working from home that I'll have more flexibility and more freedom because that's the life, right? You want to be your own boss. But little did I know that, being your own boss, when you're a small business, you wear many hats. So I ended up working, as Vanessa said, like 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, because I was the shipper, I was the customer service, I was the accountant, I was the delivery person, I was the technician. So as you can see, you're constantly working. And because we're small, we don't have a big budget to hire because we really, like not cannot afford. So I end up working really long hours. And so I found myself in the trap that I was trying to get out of. Like I was trying to work, thinking working from me had more time, but I actually have less time. I thought I owned my business, but the reality is my business owns me. And as a mom, it's very heartbreaking to to have to keep saying maybe later to my children whenever they ask to do little things with me, because back then my kids were younger, they're older now. So as a mom, it's always really heartbreaking because coming from an immigrant family, I came to Canada when I was about 7, and my parents were just young immigrant parents trying to do their best to provide for their children. So they were constantly working. So they were never really around much during my childhood. They weren't at those parent teacher meeting. They weren't at any of the school event or sports day. So when I became a mom, I wanted to be present and be at all those events for my children. But I guess life had a different plan with all the work, all the bills, mortgages, and everything we had to pay. I had to work. And then but I thought, maybe this is the way it is. But if I try a few more years, things will settle down. I have more time for my kids. But that was not always the case. So, but when my daughter entered high school, that's when I realized that my children will not be children forever. And if I don't find a way to change or to earn money, but without trading all of my time, then I'm going to look back in a few years and have regrets. And, thank you to God, because I'm sure He heard my prayer, because by His grace, this business actually found me, because I wasn't looking for anything online, because I didn't think that I could work online, because I didn't have the tech skill, never done anything online. And, I don't think it was for me. Like I said, by God's grace, this business found me. And even though I was scared, skeptical, but I thought to myself, if I don't take this chance, I may have regrets later on. So I started the business not knowing where it will lead me, but at least I know that I can look back and feel good about myself, that at least I tried. Even if I didn't succeed, at least I tried something, and not that the opportunity was given to me and I kind of just didn't try it out. And then because I feel like the pain of regret of not doing something is always more than the pain of failures, right? Because when you do something, you fail, you actually learn from it, you grow from it. But then the regret is like you can't undo time and redo that over. So I'm so grateful that I did, because as I mentioned, in the business for 7 years, and it's been a true blessing, because now I have more time with my family, and I was able to shut down my dental lab as well. So that was where my situation was. I think it went beyond that, but I'm just saying, like, I was always working. I was never there. I was home, but I wasn't present, right? And it was like working nonstop. If you can imagine 16 hours a day, that really leaves you with no time for anything. Yeah, so that was where I was 7 years ago before I found this business.
Wow, thank you so much, Coach Karen. Thank you for sharing that. I can really feel how heavy that season must have been. And Sis Vanessa, what do you think is your reaction with the answer of Coach Karen for our first question?
I really feel you, Coach Karen. I do have the same, like, working double shift back to back. So feeling no time for my kids as well at the same time. But I'm glad that this online ads came to me, and I stepped forward and I took action when my mentor told me that if nothing changed, nothing changed. If you will not change your life 5 years from now. So that moment I took action. It reflects me that thinking about my family too. That I need to be changed. So back to you, Sis Marie Chris. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sis Vanessa. And now let us go to our second question. Okay, so it will be Sis Vanji who will read our second question. Go ahead, Sis Vanji, kindly read. Question number two.
Okay, Coach Karen. So you often found yourself telling your children maybe later. Was there a moment when you realized those words were costing you precious family memories?
Yes, definitely. It's just that as a mom, like, we want what's best for our family and our children, but then we also have to work to provide for our family. So sometimes we don't have a choice, right? So I know that saying those maybe laters to my kids, it's painful, but at that time I felt really stuck and I really didn't have a choice. And like I said, when my daughter had entered high school, that's when I realized that time is something that you cannot buy back, right? And those maybe later was costing me those that time, that memories that I cannot recreate, right? Maybe 5, 10 years later I can have all the money in the world, but I cannot go back and relive those moments. So that's when I realized, like, I had to do something to change our situation, because like it's costing a lot, and like you don't have a second chance, like, to redo these stuff with your kids, right? You will have other chances and other opportunity to earn an income, to make more money, but you don't have a second chance to relive those childhood memories with your kids. So we often get pulled into this society of materialistic thinking, that giving our children all the materialistic is an act of love. It is, in a way, but I think for most children in the our society today, with all the technology, the one thing that is most valuable, but a lot of parents cannot give their children, is their time. Because your son, your daughter may be excited to get that new iPad. Yes, it's wonderful, but it's not something that they're going to look back when they're in their 30s, when they have children of their own, and tell their children, oh, my mom got me an iPad when I was 5, right? But they're going to be looking back when they're older, that, oh, when I was 5, we went on this camping trip and this happened. Those are the precious memories that actually live with them, that last a lifetime, versus an iPad, versus a toy that in the moment, yes, they're happy, they're excited, but it will pass, right? There'll be a new iPad, there'll be a new iPhone. So, but then those memories are stuff that you cannot relive or recreate, because you can always get a new iPhone, a new iPad the next year or the year after or in the future. But once those timer pass, you're not. So I think that's the one thing that I think it's a math problem that for many busy working moms or parents like ourselves really have a hard time, because we all know that time is money, money is time. So if you want more money, you have to work. When you work, that means you have less time for yourself, for your family. And then the other way around, if you want more time, that means you can't go to work because you're having time to spend with your kids. So that means you have less income. So it's always this balancing act of where or how do I do it? So, and then also with all the uncertainty that's happening around the world, a lot of us wants that security in the income, right? So that's why we choose to work more, because that also gives us a security to provide for our family. But like I said, but then it also costing us those precious time to create memories. So like I said, for me, it's the moment when my daughter entered high school. That's when I realized my kids are not going to be kids forever. So, and if I don't make a change, it's going to cost me all these, the time to create those memories with them that I can never, ever, ever buy back. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach Karen. That is so powerful. Remember that many parents, I know, that can relate to that exact feeling, because I know your time with your kids, your time with your family is more precious than trading your money in going to work just to provide. And you are right that there should be a balance. And what can you say, Sis Banji, with Coach Karen's answer for question number two?
Yes, precious moment. That was exactly why I started my backup plan for my lovely girls, because I don't want like it happens again for my younger daughter, that it what we did for our older daughter. So precious moment or family time or a our first priority here. That's why I took actions in this business. Okay, so back to you, sis. Marcres.
you so much, Sis Banji. And now let us go to our next question. And now
Um,
it will be Sis Pauline who will do the next question. Okay,
Hi,
Sis
Coach.
Pauline,
Okay.
kindly read question number three.
Okay. Hi, Coach Karin. This is the third question. As an immigrant building life in Canada, what were the what were some of the sacrifices you made in hope of creating a better future for your family?
Well, like many immigrants, family or parents that come to Canada, USA, or abroad looking for, I guess, a better life, a greener pasture, because of back home, we have less or struggle less. So I think for it's speaking from my perspective alone, coming from Vietnam, where there was uncertainty, there was war. So that's why my parents chose to leave Vietnam in search of a better life for us, right? More freedom, more security. So when we come to Canada, I see it around all the time. It's like the one thing that, because coming from a corrupt country where there's really no security, so coming to and with very little, right, living in scarcity. So when we come to Canada, um, we're so focused on making money because money gives us that security, right? That sense of security that we have control of our life because money can buy so many things. So a lot of immigrants' family ended up working lots. I see a lot of family working three jobs, right? Because they want just to build that really, really big nest eggs that if something ever happened, they have something there. It gives us that sense of security. And also for many, excuse me, immigrant family, they also have family back home that they need to support. So that's why they work extra hard to earn extra money to help family back home as well. And like I said, in the case of working more, you are sacrificing family time and you are sacrificing your health, right? But for me, I didn't exactly come here. I am an immigrant, but I came here when I was 7. So I pretty much grew up in Canada. So unlike most immigrants that came just like my parents when they were already in their adulthood and trying to raise a family. So I mean, they sacrifice a lot more, right? So time with family. But even just as a working mom, just trying to build a better future, we are all in that same cycle or that trap of trading our time for money. So time, and then along with time is our health as well, right? And that's what I see. A lot of people work like 2 3 jobs, and then by the time they're in their 50 they get sick because they haven't been taking well of their health, or when they start their retirement at 65 or 70, their health has deteriorated now that they cannot even enjoy their life, right? So they're need a walker, or they have so many kind of like symptoms, like for example high blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol, like those common old age stuff that prevents them from enjoying their life. Because when they were younger, we all seem to think that we're invincible, we're not going to get sick, so we work lots, we don't eat properly. So there's just a lot of things that we end up sacrificing. But when we get to a certain age, we look back and we realize it's a bit late to undo. So that's what I see around me happening too, is that immigrants family or parents come here, is like the thing that they sacrifice is their time and their health. And then that, because the reason why most of us don't do anything to change, because those sacrifices does not give us immediate pain, right? Because the sacrifice of time or health, you don't see the effect of it until 10 20 years later, right? So for example, when a parent is always working, they don't have that bond, that relationship with their children when they're young or in their teenage year. And then when your kids become adult, you don't speak to them, or they maybe, I've seen some family where the kids got down the wrong path, right? Got involved in drugs or gangs or whatnot. So because you weren't around there to guide them, so that's what we sacrifice. And like I said, during the time when they were young, you're working, you don't see that yet. But when you do see it, it's late. Or in our health, right? You think you're healthy now, but the way you're eating, or you're not sleeping properly, or not enough exercise, you won't see that effect until maybe you're in your 50s. So that's what I feel like for a lot of parents, especially immigrants, that's what they are sacrificing, and they are, eventually will pay a price later on. Right now, they might not realize that. So that's why so many of us are trying to find a way where we can balance, where we can still earn, provide a good, lifestyle for our family, but without sacrificing all of that, without sacrificing all our time, without sacrificing our health to earn.
Thank you so much, Coach Karen. Yes, it really shows how much love and effort you put into your family's future. And yeah, Sis Polita, what is your reaction of Coach Karen's answer to that question?
Yes, I resonate what Coach Karen said. Many immigrants family understand the sacrifice of living from home. Like for me, I do live from Philippines. I left behind my small children just to work abroad. Before I came here, I worked in Taiwan for 4 years, knowing that there are lots of guilt at night because what am I doing is for my children. So we always do, or we always have a big dreams for our childrens. For me, it's really it matters to our children that we can provide whatever they needs. And now also as an immigrant, I also building my future. That's why I started my online business, just to build those memories that's been gone when I'm away from them. And I promise myself that I want to build a milestone with my grandchildren, and it's never too late to start this online business because this online business is very flexible and doable. You can do it anytime, anywhere. And if you guys want to have to build your future and be around with your family, start your business now because this is the best time to start. So I I am very grateful. Today is my third year in the business and I never regret, although I have lots of doubt before because I said to myself, I cannot do it. But those words is just an excuses. Everyone has a potential to do whatever your dream will. And for me, building this online business is all doing also I'm building my legacy for my future children. That's all I can share. And thank you. Back to you, Sis Marie Chris.
Thank you so much, Sis Polita. And let us go now to our fourth question. Now it's Maringtes who will be reading question number 4. Go ahead, Maringtes.
Okay, Coach Karen. When you first came across this business, what fears, doubts, or hesitations did you have before saying yes?
Well, that's a great question because I'm sure a lot of people is watching this is having some fear, some doubt, some hesitation. And trust me, I'm in the same boat. When I came across this business, I had all those. Yeah, I thought it's not real. I thought it was a scam because as an Asian coming from an Asian family for Vietnamese, we always taught to go to school, study hard, get good grades, graduate with a degree, get a good job, and you will have a good life because that was how it used to be, back then, because anybody with an education always get the better job, higher paying job than the labor job. So that's the path that's why our parents left Vietnam to come here to give us that opportunity. So that's what I did. I followed that path too. But then, so in my mind, I guess in our mindset, is always ingrained in us like to work hard, and you can only earn money through hard work. There's no such thing as doing nothing and making money. So that's how when I found this business where people were making, 15, $20,000 a month, it just blows my mind. I'm like, what are they doing? This can't be real because I was working away 12 to 16 hours a day in my lab. And our whole take home for the month was 20, 30. Our highest month, I think, was 42,000. But that was before expense, before costs and everything. If you minus all that out, I think our take home is between 10 to 15,000 on average, on the 40 $2,000 month, maybe more. But then that was with me working basically round the clock. So how are these people working this on the side, just part time? Because most of them were still doing their full time job and earning this amount of money. So for me, never working online, don't understand the online world. I just can't fathom that idea. So of course, the first instinct was it's a scam, right? But then again, like I said, that just that feeling of wanting to change. So I still took a courageous step. Just want to check out what is it about. So when I came into the community, I'm seeing like ordinary, everyday people like myself using the system and earning online, and I thought, that's why I told you earlier that I'm going to give it a try. If it works out, that's wonderful. Then I can have more time for my kids. But if it doesn't work out, it's all right. At least I gave it a try. So that's why, like, guys, do your due diligence. Don't just take our words for it. Go in, get all the details, check it out to see if it's a fit for you. So that was my fear. Like, I didn't believe it was real. But the thing that really made me believe that it was real, because it's registered, because we get T4A in Canada, which is a tax form. I think W no wait 1099 in the US. So for me, anything that the government takes tax from you gotta be legit, gotta be real, right? So then at least that got out of the way. But then of course there's that doubt, that fears, like, can I do it? I don't, before this, I didn't have a Facebook, so I'm not a social media person. So I don't know if I could do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm not tech savvy. I don't know how to build a website. I don't know how to do, like, there's so many things. So I didn't think I could do it. But because we have a very simple, easy to follow training system, but also we get a mentor and a coach that's there to guide you every step of the way. So then I slowly learn. And like I said, everything is already laid out for you. You just have to follow it. So, those are all fears, but don't let fear stop you, right? Just go beyond your fear and explore it, and ask your question. Is it really, me not wanting to, or it's just my fear holding me back? Because a lot of the time, if you are watching this, there is a part of you that want to take the next step, but the fear is holding you back. So just, break it down. Is it really fear? Because if we could do it, if we can learn, if we can do this on the side, then there is no reason why you can't either. Because we're not special. Trust me, we're not. We're just like you. Two eyes, one head, two hands, and none of us have any degree in technology, in software or anything, but we're able to do it. So that's why I said sometimes the fear is just keeping us stuck. So sometimes if you want a different result, you have to be willing to do something different. That's just the truth, right? So you can't continue doing the same thing expecting a different result, because that's called insanity. So that's why you just have to try a different path. And the wonderful thing is, for many of you here, it's not something new anymore, because we've been around for 10 years now, and we've had thousands or hundreds of thousands people doing this. So it's a proven system, proven tested system that's worked. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel. You're not testing things out. It's a system that's already working, that's helped thousands of people earn a full-time living online, doing this, and they're willing to show you and teach you. But the question is, are you ready and willing to let yourself do this and give you that opportunity? Like, that's hesitation, fear, doubt. That's very norm. That's very human. So, like, I just want you to know that, I didn't just see it and jumped in right away without any scare, skepticism at all. Like, I did my due diligence and I weighed the risk versus the rewards. And I've always mentioned, the risk is, yes, there's a chance that I'm not going to succeed. But if I don't succeed, what happens? I learned something, and I can look back and basically face my children and said, I did my best. I tried my best, right? Instead of not doing it and then looking back and have to live with that feeling, what if I did that business? What would our life be like right now? Because honestly, guys, I can't imagine if I did not do this business, I would still be, I guess, miserable, working 12 to 16 hours a day. Yeah, so I'm so grateful that this business came into my life and that I had the courage to take that action, and join the business, just like all the wonderful ladies here as well. So give yourself that opportunity, at least just to get all the information before you close the door and say it's not for you, because you'll be surprised once you take the next step and find out how it works, what it's about, right? Because you'll see thousands of ordinary people doing this all around the world. And like I said, we don't have anything more special than any of you here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Coach Karen. I think a lot of people listening today right now will relate to that same hesitation. The only thing, the only difference that you made is that you took action. And that is why, yeah, you got everything. You were able to have the time freedom that you were really dreaming, and it came to life because you took action. Thank you so much, Coach Karen. And Maring Tess, what is your reaction with Coach Karen's answer to question number 4?
Thank you, Coach Karen, for that very wonderful answer. Like any other business or budding businesswoman like me, um, I was really skeptical for in the first place. When I first viewed my Maring Chris, because she was my former co-teacher, former teacher in the Philippines. Um, when I first view her on online, I said, "Is this true? Is that legit?" So I kept on watching her, and when when you watch her, and then there are some people coming with the same business. So over and over and over, I watched them, and then until one day I contacted my Maring Chris, and she walked me through it. She inspired me to do it, and yeah, I am here now, and I can relate with Coach Karen's experience that you cannot be stagnant. You have to learn. You have to do something. Like when my family needed my help more than the ones that I used to help them, I thought of something that what am I going to do to help them? Because currently prices are going high, and with our meager salary, I can't help them more. So that made me like Coach Karen, that made me think of learning some more skills. It's never too late to learn, even at my age. Because I like learning in order to uplift myself, my family, and my significant others that I wanted to help back home. So yeah, Coach Karen, don't you know that? Okay, this is my opportunity to tell you that you are one of the personalities that I admire in this business. So thank you for telling all those thoughts to us. Thank you so much. That's all.
Thank you so much, Maring Tess. And yeah, it's just really very amazing that we just don't stay skeptical. We do something, we take action so that what dreams we have in life, yes, it will also come into a reality. So let us go now to question number 5. And it will be Sis Vanessa who will read question number 5.
Okay, last question number 5, Coach. Looking back, how did you feel for the first time you realized that you had no longer had to choose between providing for your family and being present with them?
You know what? Every day I wake up, or every day I get to go on my walk with my son, or watch the movie with my daughter, I am just so filled with gratefulness, and I just can't believe this is my life now. And I always think back and so grateful that I had that courage back then 7 years ago to take that leap of faith and start the business, because I know that my life would look so different if I didn't. And knowing that I have that freedom now, don't have to choose between working to provide for my family or spending time with my kids. It's so amazing that, and because of that, when I see other moms that are stuck, that when something comes up, they go, "Oh, I can't do this because I have work, or I have to ask for time off. I can't do this." I feel their pain because I was once there. And I just wish that they would have that courage to explore this business and know that there is a way that we can still earn, provide for our family, and still be present and still have that flexibility. But the issue is that, like, we going back to that hesitation, that fear that keeps us stuck, and we just go in the motion. And a lot of us just feels like this is the way it is. That's how it is. My neighbors like that, my sisters like that, my friends like that. We all work, we all provide, and we all live in this busy world where we have no time for our children. So we almost um, believe that that is the norm. But the technology, like, AI has advanced so much. It's going to change how we live, how we earn. And that's part of the life that we're moving towards now, is that digital world. So it's not the same anymore. It's no longer trading time to earn an income, because technology has changed that. So now, for the first time in history, there are so millionaires being made every year, thanks to the internet, thanks to technology. It's giving us equal footage. We've got 18 years old becoming millionaire through YouTube, through Instagram. Like, that's never happened in history. So you just have to know that things are different now. So you don't need to always keep doing the old way anymore. So explore the chance, because we are in a great place. And honestly, you guys are not too late, because it's still new. Technology is still developing. Like, I know I talked to some people, they felt like they missed the boat, and they can't start now, like they're so behind. But it's not, because that's just all, again, your fear, your excuse is speaking. Because we still have people coming into this business nowadays, even after we've been around for 10 years, and they're still making money, and they're surpassing the people that started before them. So it doesn't mean that there is no opportunity for you. If you want it, it can work for you. So, like, I always say that, I'm so grateful, thinking about I don't have to be in that situation where I have to say no to my kids anymore, because I have to work and to provide, because I don't have to, because I actually get to fit my schedule around my kids. So I still work, not that I don't, but it's flexible. Or even if we go to vacation, before, we have to close the lab, schedule everything, work really hard before I go, work really hard after I come back. But now it's just peace, right? Book the schedule, book the vacation, go, take your laptop with you. I'll still do a little bit of work on my vacation, but then I can be present. I may have to work a few days or a few hours during our vacation, but then I can still be there for the rest of vacation with my family. Instead of, in the past, I would have to say, no, we cannot go because I have to work, and there's like no vacation. So I'm so grateful for that. And also, it's not just for being there for my kids, but also now that my parents are older, they retired. So it's nice to know that I can be there for them again, take them to doctor's appointment, just to be around. Because I know without this business, I will not have that time or that opportunity to support them, to be there for them. So I'm just really, truly grateful. And honestly, just like every moment when I look at the life that I'm living now, I still feel like I can't believe this is my life, because it's it's not something that I imagine it's possible for me, but it is, because like I'm still in my late 40s, not 50 yet. And if I were still working, I still have to probably have another 10, 15 years to go. And even so, I don't know what will happen at the end of that 10, 15 years. Will I be have a secured retirement? Will I have enough saving to sustain my lifestyle in retirement, right? Like, you work so hard to get to retirement to enjoy, but then you don't have that money to enjoy or live that lifestyle. So I'm so grateful, because now I'm still working, but I also at the same time feel like on some days I felt like I'm also living a retired life, because there's no alarm in the morning, and I can choose to just work when I went. So yesterday, so I had an early appointment to get my eyelashes done. Then I went to the mall, did a little shopping, came home, made lunch for my family, and then just muck around. And then that was my day. It's like there's no work. I planned to work, but I end up not doing any work. So that's what life is now. Like, there is no more schedule that you have to follow. So it's just having that complete flexibility and freedom to live life on your terms. So, I mean, grateful is still so, cannot describe my feeling. So I'm so happy and grateful that I'm here. And then that's why I know I get asked, Karen, like, you're already so successful. Why do you still continue to work or do what you do now? I go, because this has become a passion of mine. Like I said, I see other moms struggling, and I just want to reach out and tell them, you don't have to. You don't have to choose. There is another way. But I know it's hard. It's just that they just have to decide that they want the change, even though as much as I know it will work and make their life better for them. but I cannot do it for them. So they would have to choose to do it themselves. So for any of you that is watching us right now, is like, you know, I'm so happy that you're here. And I hope that this message really lands with you and that you take action today and make it happen, because time is not going to wait for anybody. And what will, imagine yourself 5 years from now. If you did nothing, what would life be like? Right? Will you be happy with where you are? If you are, then that's great. Then continue. But if you look back, in the future in 5 years, if you're not going to be happy of your situation in 5 years, if you don't do anything right now, then maybe that's a sign that you need to do something different, so that 5 year from now you will have a different outlook, you will have a different life, you have a different future.
Oh, thank you so much, Coach Karen. Yes, that kind of shift is something so many people dream about. Can't you see? Coach Karen is still thinking, oh, is this really real? And it's happening every day. So, guys, in digital business, it is very possible. All you need to do is to take action, reach out to anyone that is in here already in our business community, and yeah, take that first step. The first step is to watch the webinar that we all watched before. So yeah, what can you say, Sis Vanessa, with Coach Karen's answer for our fifth question?
Holy moly. Thank you so much, Coach. Karen, super inspiring your story and what you have shared for us. And I just wanna take an opportunity and advantage this, that I'm gonna say that you are so humble and generous to share your stories with us. Even I met you in San Diego, you are so humble. We are just behind your back in the chairs at that time, and we are so inspired with your stories to Coach. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope that lots of mommies inspired watching this on air live, and um, we will get there. And I know that what your achievements, we will get there as long as we keep going. Thank you, Coach. Thank you. Back to you, Sis Marie
Thank,
Chris.
yes, thank you so much, Sis Vanessa. And now let us go to our last question. Maring Tess, can you please read the last question, question number 6?
For the mom who feels exhausted, overwhelmed, and worried she's missing out on her children's lives, what would you want her to hear from your story today?
Yeah, so just as circling back to what I said, it's like, I just want you to know that there is another way. You don't have to choose. We're living in a different world now with what technology can help us do. We can earn, because thanks to automation, thanks to system, it is also possible. And, when you choose to join our community here, we also, the community, the system, the business is actually designed with ordinary people in mind. So you don't need to have tech skill, how to build website. We have all of that ready for you. And on top of that, each person that comes in the community also have a mentor. So someone that's going to be there to guide you. You're going to have a live mentor that will talk to you, that will respond to you. So it's not just all robotic or AI. It's not that you get stuck and it will be an AI response to you, because I know that get frustrating. But you'll have a live person that's there, just like you see all of us here right now. There's going to be thousands of others in the community as well. We have weekly training that can help you. So it's not a matter of whether you can do it or not. It's just a matter of whether you choose to move forward and do it or not. And just going back to Sis Mary said earlier that it's stagnant. Stagnant is what keeps you stuck, because if you are living, you have to continue to grow, right? Whether it's in your personal growth or whatever it is, we all continue. We always strive to be a better version of ourselves, and I know that that's what this business has allowed me, is to become a better version of myself as well. And I just want you to know that we've all been in your shoes. We all felt stuck. We were all scared. We all had doubts. We all had fears whether if we can do it, if we're good enough. But when you come here, you'll realize that we all have that capability. None of us are special. None of us has something special skills or knowledge. We all learn from scratch. And not only just ordinary people like us, we even have accountants, engineers, doctors, nurses that join our community as well. And as you can imagine, professions that are earning maybe six figures a year. What are they doing here? They have the wisdom, the intelligence, and they're already earning good money wise here. It's coming back to that one thing again, is the time, because most traditional job is still in that realm of trading time for money. And it's funny because that we're talking about this, because the other day I had an interview with a gentleman from, I think he's up in Alberta, Tanvir, and he said he looked around, like surgeons, they make a killing, they make a lot of money, but they don't always have the best life because they're always working, right? They can take only certain vacation days and that's it. But other than that, they're always working. Yes, they make a ton of money, but they really never have time to enjoy it. And him and his wife is able to retire from their job and become both full-time stay-at-home parents, raising two beautiful girls, that because they're always around, since their girls were young, that their children believe that all the houses around them, all the neighbors, that all the parents are home with their kids too. So they believe that all their friends is the same, that all their parents are home with them. So they grew up thinking that, but we all know that's not the truth. Most family parents work and surely go to daycare. But because the girls have grown up with their parents around, that they thought this is the norm and that all families are this way. So it can be that way if you have the courage to go outside of your comfort zone, try something you've never tried before, and I promise you, you're not going to regret it.
Yes, thank you so much, Coach Karen. Yes, that message is truly going to touch so many hearts, because I know there are a lots of working parents that are really sacrificing their time. Instead of spending time with their family, with their kids, they're spending time to work, to trade time, money, and time. They trade their time for that. So yeah, how about you, Marintes? What can you say about Coach Karen's answer to our last question?
Thank you, Coach Karen. You really inspires us. Not only me, not only us here, but for all the mothers who's been watching us here, and for those mothers who's been thinking or in the verge of saying yes to this business. That's you're really an inspiration. Okay. Going back to what Coach Karen said, that we shouldn't be stagnant. We should learn more in order to help our family, to further ourselves, to be educated, to learn more skills, more money. So, oh yeah, Coach Karen, thank you so much, and thank you all.
Thank you so much, Marintes. And now we will have Sis Vanji to invite our viewers and our audience for our life-changing webinar. Go ahead, Sis Vanji.
Okay, so yes, to those who are watching right now or our replay, so yes, if you are busy parents, especially busy parents looking for a flexible way to earn income online, so this is the best business opportunity that you are looking for. Even you are professional or non-professional, you can do it. If we can do it, so can you. Okay, so just watch our free webinar, and you can ask any one of us here for some any informations about this business, and we are happy to share. We are love to share about this business. Okay, so yes, back to you, sis
Thank you
Marcres.
so much, Sis Vanji. Wow, what an inspiring and emotional story. Coach Karen, thank you so much for your honesty, your journey, and for sharing your heart with us today. Your story is a reminder that change is possible even when life feels busy, heavy, or uncertain. And to everyone who watched, if something in this conversation spoke to you, don't ignore it. Sometimes stories like this come at the exact moment that we need them most. Thank you again for being here, and don't forget to share this interview with someone who might need encouragement today. Until next time, take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye,
Thank you,
everyone.
Coach Karen. Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.